Hello and welcome to another episode of the new Critic. Last time we took a look at the previous Transformers movie from 2007. Today we're going to look at the sequel, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. And as I said in the previous video, I kinda liked it. So by the end of this one, you'll understand why. So let's get into it, shall we? So the story follows Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf, as he begins to have visions of Cybertronian symbols. He is then on the run from the Decepticons. The Decepticons are being led by an ancient Decepticon known as the Fallen. The Fallen seeks to find and activate a machine that can provide the Decepticons with an energon source strong enough to wipe out the sun and all life on Earth as we know it. And as odd as this sounds, it actually raises the stakes, believe it or not. And I know there are those who are going to disagree with me, but just hear me out for a second. In the first film, the Autobots and the Decepticons went to war with each other on Earth. In the second film, the Decepticons want to wipe out the Earth once and for all. Doesn't that sound like higher stakes? No? Okay, well for me it does. Anyway, the special effects are just as good as they were in the original film, and they've aged well too. Steve Jablonsky's musical score is fantastic once again. Some of the locations that the film was shot in, I don't want to go into those in detail because that could spoil the movie, but they were great and they helped distinguish the movie's look. The acting. While it wasn't as good as it was in the original film, it kind of suited the movie, so I didn't mind that at all. I really didn't. I know there's a common complaint about character development in this movie being non-existent, but what is there to say about the characters that hasn't already been said? Think about that for a second. It's a more story-driven experience than the first film. And not so bloated this time. Next up, the humor. The humor has been seen as too crude for the movie, but I didn't mind that. I loved the humor. I wondered if the film would go darker in tone than the first film, but it didn't. And yet it worked. And one of the most important aspects of the movie, the action. I know it's been criticized for being anticlimactic and repetitive and so on, but I loved it. I really did. It can go overboard sometimes, but at least it does come to a stop at some point. That's the good thing. Now here's what the movie does wrong. And these issues are similar to that of the ones in the first film. So let's go through it. First off, the common cliches of Michael Bay movies, I'm sure you know them by now, they're all here. The excessive product placement, check. The sexualized female characters, check. The excessive amount of patriotism, check. Some characters being one-dimensional, check. It's all here. The movie's runtime is pretty much the same compared to the first one, but the movie as a whole is just way too long. It really is. And lastly, the plot. It's not bloated this time, thankfully, but it can be confusing at times and simplistic at others, so it's a bit of a mess. But anyway, I guess that's not so bad. I mean, the rest of the movie is pretty good. I also want to share my thoughts about the ending. Don't worry, I won't be spoiling it. It did feel forced and abrupt at the same time, but it was a sign that the stakes were higher and that our heroes were in much more danger than they were in the first film. So that's why I like the ending. Now before I give my final score, I just want to say I don't think critics are wrong on the film. I see why they don't like it. But that doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the movie. Not that it's a step forward for the series, but it is just where it needs to be good. In case some of you don't know, director Michael Bay has even gone so far as to apologize when the movie came out and admitted it was crap. I wouldn't say it was crap, but I can respect his opinion on it. So now it's time for my final score for Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. And on a scale of 1 to 10, just like the first film, I'm gonna give it a 7. This is another example of mindless fun being for you, if you're into mindless fun. If you hate the movie, I understand. Most people hate the movie. I'm in the minority when it comes to its defenders. So that's all I have to say about Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Next time we will be looking at the third film, Transformers Dark of the Moon. It's the final installment in the original trilogy, but it's not the final film in general. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and leave a comment in the comment section below if you want to. Subscribe to my channel. I'm really interested in reviving it from the dead, as I said last time. And so I'll see you next time.